So I found a security vulnerability in a very well-known, popular, high-traffic website that allowed me to arbitrarily execute code in the individual's browser and bypass cores as well as bypass all the other security constraints. So I did what any good engineer should do. I reported it like a white hat because I am a white hat. The funny thing about this is I found it by mistake. I wasn't even looking for it. It was just literally a copy and click error. And I reported it. And this is what I get back: an email thanking me for my first HackerOne submission. Now, if you're not familiar with HackerOne, it is a platform that many companies use to allow hackers like myself to report issues and security vulnerabilities in a secure way where third parties in the middle so that, well, let's just say that the companies themselves don't go after the security researcher. It's a way of proving that you're a good guy while at the same time acknowledging that you have to eat and you have to feed yourself. I have historically stayed away from HackerOne. I haven't done any uh, freelance security research. I typically work for larger companies. In fact, last time I was in such a role, I was working at Microsoft Research, working in the Microsoft Risk Detection team, writing code to reverse engineer binaries and find arbitrary injection points to figure out 0 days. And so that's my background. But as the world is increasingly distributed, I really do like working with distributed systems and network systems. And, once in a while, you'll find something. When that happens, it's important that you be the good guy. Uh, Report it through the authorities. Use sites like HackerOne to contact the people involved who own the systems. And who knows, we might even get a payout from it. In this case, it was a security 9.6 vulnerability based on the rating that they gave me. So who knows what'll happen. I might even get my first CVE, which is something that I've intentionally stayed away from because I didn't want to be on the lists. But as I find myself more and more interested in opening my own business and becoming more freelance and more interested in helping companies myself without having a middleman or a recruiter in the way, we'll see what happens. And it's interesting, though, because there is a third party in the way, and I'm worried that they're going to do shenanigans. I've heard a lot of stories about HackerOne, and not all of them have been good. So I'm going to let this experience kind of educate me on how they do things and what I've heard is true and what I've heard is not true, that sort of thing. But I really hope that there's no shenanigans on their part. If everything happens like I think it should, then I'll get full credit for a level 9.6 exploit that is on a very popular, very well used website. And that'll be a nice little feather in my cap. And if they do shenanigans, then they'll thank me and tell me it's, not valid because the guy reading my report decided to steal it for himself and file it as his own, which is what I've heard happens. So we'll see what happens. I just hope they do the right thing because it would really just kill any motivation I have to do cybersecurity work of this kind at all. If I can find it, report it, go through all the process and steps, and then get nothing out of it. At that point, I would just start sticking to the old prior roles where I work for, directly for Microsoft or something. Uh, and I've got the experience working at different companies in different security roles professionally. So it's not like I really need to work for HackerOne. But we'll see. We'll see.